Welcome back, everybody, for an emergency pod here, the first one ever in the history of the From the Stands podcast. This one won't count towards our episode total, probably, since, like I said, it is an emergency pod. But we had some huge news that we just couldn't really stay away from. So we decided to get this emergency pod in here, and that news is that my favorite basketball player, Luka Doncic, will be on the move to the Los Angeles Lakers. Absolutely wild news that came down about midnight last night. Trade package will include, obviously, Luka Doncic and Maxi Kleber will go to LA, and in return, they will get Anthony Davis, which is another big name, and Max Christie, I believe, and only one first round pick. I think the Jazz were a third team in there. They got a couple picks, whatever. They don't really matter, though. So yeah, that's just kind of why we're here today. We won't spend too much time on it, maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. But Fezzi, what's your initial reaction to this news coming down about midnight last night?
Yeah, dude. Like I was telling you off pod, I went to bed obviously before this happened, and I woke up and I saw it. And my first reaction when I saw it, I was checking like the comments and everything. I was like, dude, this can't be real.
Yeah.
This is like
Everyone
the
thought he
biggest
got
thing for
hacked.
me is like, yeah, exactly. I was like, dude, there's no way they're trading these two players. I think I saw someone else post that this is like the first time in NBA history that two all NBA players were traded mid-season. Like, obviously, it's happened before. There's been blockbuster trades over the offseason, but like mid-season. But anyways, I woke up to the news and I was just like, dude, this can't be real. I was like looking everywhere, and everywhere I looked, it was like, this is done deal, really happening. Caught everyone off guard, even the players, like even like LeBron didn't know about it. But I definitely want to hear more from you because, like you said, like I wouldn't say you're a Mavericks fan, but you are a fan of Luka Doncic. I saw this one comment where someone was saying, not comment, but like this one post where an analyst was saying that they're sending Anthony Davis to a situation where he can win now. I guess they used it as, but the Lakers are doing better than Mavericks right now. I looked at some of the standings because I don't keep up with the NBA a whole lot, but yeah, I just wanted to get like your reaction,
Dude,
obviously, to it because this is wild.
might go on here for a little while, but
That's all right. The floor is yours, my man.
dude, I think it's completely disgraceful that first of all, he didn't request a trade. This isn't like,
Right.
as far as, the details that we've been given, there was nothing to say that he wanted out or that he had any kind of rift with the front office. And there may be details that, come to fruition in the next few days that might say different, but I kind of highly doubt that at this point. Just the whole way that the trade went down, I think was disgraceful. This GM, he's been in there for like a year or two, I believe. They have new ownership now. Mark Cuban is no longer the sole, like he's not making all the basketball decisions like he was as of last offseason. So there's a new owner there. I just think it's ridiculous. I don't know how it makes basketball sense. I mean, you just went to the NBA finals. You have a guy who's questionably a generational talent, who's 25 years old. He averages 31, 8, and 8. Like, how is it even on the table that we're going to be trading a guy like that? I don't understand that. Like the GM right after, I mean, he had to make a statement right after he makes a trade like that. He's like, I believe that defense wins championships and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so you get Anthony Davis. Like a known Iron Man, of course. Like dude's made of glass, bro. Like he's not going to stand on the court any more than Luka Doncic is. Like, and just it seems like no one told Luka, no one told the Mavs, no one told any, like this is just the GM kind of, putting something together in the wee hours of the night or whatever, and trading away a generational superstar that should have been a Maverick for life kind of deal, at least for the next 10 years. They spent the last 5-6 years building the team around him. They finally have two good centers. Luka's always been loyal to the Mavs. Like he could have asked out after his first contract or, asked to go somewhere else, but he's been given trash teams for the most part. And all he's done is get to first team All NBAs. He got to Western Conference Finals 2 years ago with a garbage team. Like his second best player was probably Maxi Kleber, which is insane. Obviously now he's finally got pieces now, dude. He's got Kyrie. He's got Klay Thompson now. Like, how does that Klay Thompson signing look now? Like, he came to play with Luka. Like, He's not this man, dude. But anyway, now he has a team, gets to the NBA Finals, and you trade him? Like, that's just, oh, man.
Yeah.
I hate it, bro. Makes me red in the face. Like, it's just, but yeah, the GM, I just can't believe, I just don't understand, like, the basketball aspect of it. Like, why are you trading a 25-year-old who's not even in his prime yet, who has made it to he's made a first team All-NBA in 5 out of his first 6 seasons in the NBA.
Crazy.
No one has ever done that before, I don't think. Like, it's just, and like I said, generational talent. I don't get it. And the return is mind blowing. Like Mikal Bridges, 4 first-round picks. Rudy Gobert, 5 first-round picks. And we're getting Anthony Davis and one 2029 first-rounder back. Like that's an insane haul for a guy that is of Luka Doncic's caliber. And a lot of the reports I'm hearing now is that, they're frustrated that he was, his conditioning isn't better and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, stop. Just stop. Like he got to the finals on one leg. Like he was hurt the whole playoffs last year. Like, I don't care if he's a little bit tubby. Like if he's giving you 32, 8 and 8 every night, you can be 400 pounds for all I care, bro. Like, why does it matter? Like, so that's just some of my thoughts. You can kind of give a rebuttal. I don't want to just be on here ranting, but its sources are, and of course this may not be true, but like even LeBron didn't know. That's how like under wraps the whole thing was, which like LeBron knows everything. I feel like he's basically working in an NBA office at this point. Like the fact that he allegedly didn't know about it is wild to me as well. So
yeah, no, absolutely. The one of my first thoughts too, other than it being fake, was like, why for both teams? Like I quickly had to take a look at like the standings, and I don't have it in front of me now, but the Lakers, as like if we went to the playoffs now, Mavericks would be in the play-in, Lakers would be in the playoffs. So obviously doing better than the Mavericks right now. But in my opinion, I like Luka as an offensive player. He is nowhere near the defensive player that Anthony Davis is.
He doesn't play defense, to be honest.
So like for the Lakers, like I don't understand. Like you're giving up a player that should be winning like defensive player of the year almost every year in Anthony Davis, who also gives you offense, who's a big man, and you're trading that away for Luka Doncic, who's going to give you 30 points a game, but he's going to be giving up 25 by himself. So
him and LeBron coexisting, I got some question marks about that too. Like that's
right. My third thought though went right to JJ Redick. I was like, this dude is in love with Luka Doncic.
Played with him.
Like in love with him. Yeah, played with him, in love with him. So I wonder if he had a few things to say. And again, there's going to be reports and stuff surfacing throughout the week as this is coming out. But I saw that the Mavericks actually were the ones that went to the Lakers to shop Luka. Like, who does that? Mark Cuban is fuming right now.
Well,
fuming.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, if you want to trade Luka, okay, like why aren't you like shopping him around and getting like just a historic haul for him? Why are you just settling for, obviously Anthony Davis is a good player, like, at his peak, maybe top 10 to 15 in the NBA, but like, he's not Luka. Like, why are they just getting Anthony Davis and like this one pick? Like, you could shop him around to 31 other teams and see what they have to offer. Like, this just makes no sense to me. But like from the Lakers' point of view, bro, makes all the sense in the world. Like, I would do that in a heartbeat. Like, they're coming to you offering up Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, a guy that you've talked about trading the last 2 years anyway. Like, you have an off ramp once LeBron decides to retire too. Like, you've got a superstar that's going to keep your franchise relevant in the city of LA for the next 10, 15 years. Like, that's just a no-brainer that you would say yes to, just because, and that's another thing that we get. I've seen a lot of people, because the trade doesn't make sense, feels like at all for the Mavs. I've seen a lot of like people being on there like, oh, this is the NBA trying to keep, like they're struggling with ratings. We talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to keep a big
Yeah.
market team relevant, and getting a superstar over there is, you know, pushed by the NBA with this new ownership group and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, usually I'm not a conspiracy theorist like that. I've said this on the pod before, but like I'm starting to believe like some of the stuff that these people are saying, just because the trade seems so mind blowing to me that, you know, that the haul is that little and that they would trade a guy at 25 years old at the time that they did. But you can kind of continue what you were saying earlier. That's something to
Yeah,
add.
I don't
But
know. There's not a whole lot left to say. I definitely wanted to hear more from you because as someone who follows Luka Doncic the most out of the two of us, you would have more to say. But the other thing is again, like there's reports coming out all over the place, but they were saying that some people in the front office of the Lakers were kind of over Anthony Davis with some of his comments in the media about like needing another big and stuff. And I'm just like, that to me that just feels a little bit of a stretch. Like it's Anthony Davis. You're winning games because of him. I don't think you're getting
and they
overly
have
frustrated with him
and the
talking.
Mavs, they have Gafford and Lively. Like Lively's whole play style is basically geared to play with Luka Doncic, and Gafford is like, you know, a slightly less good version of Anthony Davis. Obviously, doesn't have the offensive game, but like, you don't need to have an offensive game as a center when you're playing with Luka and Kyrie. Like, it's just ridiculous. And like, I feel like they've alienated their entire fan base with this trade as well. Like they've completely turned like the fan base against them. Like, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs and maybe make some noise. Like, who knows if Kyrie and Anthony Davis are going to be a good match, and Klay Thompson is obviously still there, so they might still have a good team. But dude, they've, you know, there's a difference between like LeBron leaving Cleveland. Obviously, that was his choice, and like the fans are burning his jersey and all this. Like, obviously, he went back and, you know, redeemed himself. But like, this is just the front office trading a guy, you know, like I said, in his prime at 25 years old. Like, that's insane. That's, you know, I've seen a lot of, you know, people trying to compare like NFL, like what the NFL equivalent of that would be. And it was like, that's like the Chiefs trading Mahomes for Stafford, or like, you know, trading Lamar for, you know, whoever. Like, you don't do it. You just don't. And it's just wild.
Yeah.
I also think that I'm a little bit upset because like I could have stomached him going to 31 teams, but I just hate the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. I hate everything they stand for. I don't like that they're in LA. I don't like the pompous. I don't like that they're on every single nationally televised games, no matter if they're in last place in the league or not. So it'll be tough for me to root for him as hard as I did before, but definitely still a fan of him. I'll be able to root for him a lot easier when LeBron's gone. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. I don't know if you had any more to add about that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, not a whole lot to add. Again, we're gonna keep it short just because this isn't our regular scheduled pod. But just to highlight quickly, this was technically a 3-team trade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher this last name, but the Utah Jazz actually get a guard from the Lakers, Jalen Hood.
Shafino.
Shafino's
fine.
Shafino. And then they get a couple of second-round picks in 2025. So honestly, Utah kind of coming out with, I mean, some draft capital here and a young guard. I mean, they're just like, yeah, sure, we'll help you guys work this out. But kind of to wrap it up, I think your point is about like this is a no duh for the Lakers. Like they're coming to them like, yeah, we'll give you Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, who, you know, he's getting older. He's not 25 years old. He's made of glass, and he's just a good piece to have to add with their bigs in Dallas. The last thing that I'll say is all we've been hearing this past like trade deadline is the Lakers need another big. And again, you get Luka out of it. Like, who's going to say no to Luka?
Yeah, who's going to be playing center?
It's like
for
if
them
someone
now.
shot. Yeah, so I was just, it just like blew my mind. Like, oh yeah, we need a big, but yeah, we'll take Luka, but we'll get rid of our big. Like, obviously, the only other person you could trade for Luka would have been LeBron. But so obviously, that's kind of what they had to give up. Yeah. Wild stuff. I don't know if you have any closing remarks or if you kind of got out everything you wanted to say.
The GM, Nico Harrison, better get himself some good security because I feel like he's going to need it in the city of Dallas. That's for sure.
Dude, for sure. Mark Cuban is probably, I remember I just saw someone posted, he had a
Yep, I
comment
know what
back
you're
in
gonna
like
say.
2020. He's like, if it was between me getting rid of Luka or my wife, I'd be at the courts getting divorced that
Yeah.
day. And I was just like, he is probably so hot. He's probably going to end up on a lot of the talk shows this week.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be, because he's technically like a minority owner. He doesn't fully own them, but he doesn't have say like he used to. But anyways, that's gonna be an emergency pod for us. We appreciate you guys sticking with us and tuning in. Make sure you guys check us out on all your platforms and let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking about this trade. Like, again, this is NBA history happening too. All NBA players being swapped mid-season, so it'll be interesting to see how the Mavs and the Lakers finish out their seasons with these two players. We appreciate you guys as always, and we'll catch you guys this coming week on the actual podcast. Got a good one coming up for you guys right before the Super Bowl. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.
Peace.